Hey, what's up? My name is Samuel Leeds, and in this video, I want to give my opinion and also explain the facts around lifetime ISAs. You may have heard about lifetime ISAs. Martin Lewis talks about lifetime ISAs, and the government constantly push lifetime ISAs, and here's what it is, and there's some merit to it. I'm going to give the pros, I'm going to give the cons, I'm going to share my opinion, but ultimately I want to give you the information to make up your own mind, and you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have a lifetime ISA, why do you have one? And if not, why did you choose not to? I want to know. I'm really interested. Comment below. Here's what it is. It's an ISA, so a savings account that's specifically set up by the government, and here's what happens. You put money in it, and the government will then match what you put in, but 25%. So let's say you save up through the ISA £20,000. They will then put £5,000 in the account when you are ready to go and buy a house. And you have to use it for buying a house. So that's kind of how it works. You save up 20 grand, they'll give you 5 grand. You save up 40 grand, they'll give you 10 grand. That's then used on a deposit on a house. Sounds great. It's basically like free money from the government. However, there are some catches. You see, when the government want to give you stuff for free, or when they want to, like, why would they spend so much money advertising lifetime ISAs? Like, hey, lifetime ISAs. Why would they spend money advertising it and then give you money to do something? They clearly want you to do something. They clearly, like, call me a cynic or a skeptic, but I'm always curious. And I think the bigger reason is because I know the government's bigger agenda. And the government's bigger agenda, and I've done videos about this in the past, is to control everything. The super rich, the top 1% of wealthy people, what they want to do, generally speaking, is they want to have all of the money. They want everything. And they don't want anyone to have financial literacy. The government want to control everybody. Okay, and they can't control you unless you're poor, or at least working middle class. The education system don't teach kids about money. Why? They don't teach kids about money because the government tell them what they can and cannot teach. So they don't want you to be financially smart. They want to put together their schemes and push you into their schemes. And people really get upset with me in the comments. They say like, so I had a lifetime ISA and it really helped me. Listen, there's some merit to it. Like, you save up 20, they give you 5. If you're saving to buy a house, then I guess you could say it's great. Let me tell you some of the catches. Okay, I've got some of the catches right here. Number 1, if you change your mind, so any money that you've put into the ISA, if you want it back, if you're like, actually I've changed my mind. So you save up 20 grand and then you go, oh, actually, I don't want to buy a house. And you want the money back, you are penalized. You charge 25% of the money, which goes straight into the government's pocket. So save up 20 grand and you go, actually I want it back. You've got to pay the government 5 grand. What do you think they do with the money? They probably give it to the other person that didn't want it back. So they're probably not actually giving any money. They're probably just taking off people that change their mind and giving it to people that stick with the program. So that's kind of extreme. However, there's more catches. Next, you cannot save more than 4 grand a year. So you can only put 4 grand a year into this ISA. Interesting. If you decide you don't want to use the money for a house to live in at all, and you just think, I want that money back, unless you're going to be prepared to get absolutely penalized by the government and give them 25%, you have to wait until you are 60 years old to get the money back. You have to use the money to buy a house to live in. You cannot buy a house and then rent it out. So this is not for investment property. This is you having to live there. And this is probably the most scary, okay? I've got this straight off of the government websites and stuff, okay? So you can check this up. But you have to agree that if a new government comes into power, they can change the rules on what happens with your ISA, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you are completely dependent and reliant on the government and the rules. So that's some of the catches. So would I do it? Would I put money into an ISA? No. Would I invest my kids to do it? No. Why not? I wouldn't do it because despite there being some merit, because I want to be in control of my own life. I want to be in control of my own finances. I don't want to be told what I can do with my money, how much I can save. what I have to buy. I just don't want that. I want to be free to do what I want with my money, especially when I know that the government, who are trying to control how I invest and what I do, when I know that the government want me to be poor. So I wouldn't do it. So that's my thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts. I think this is also a really interesting point. Okay. Here's how entrepreneurs think. Entrepreneurs think fast. If you want to be a property investor, you want to be successful, you want to be a business person, fast decisions. When I was 19 years old, I bought 6 houses. Bang, 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 bang. Fast. That's how you got to be. The way that the government want you to act is very slow. Like the whole mindset. Why would they say you can only invest up to 4,000 a year? Because in your mind, then it's like, whoa, 4,000 a year is the max. That's gonna mean I have to wait maybe 6 or 7 years before I can buy my first house. So straight away, pushed back the age. Everything's getting pushed back. Pushed back the age before we buy a house. The age of moving out, the average person's like in their mid-20s now when they leave home. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm out. I don't want everything to be pushed back. I don't want retirement to be pushed back. Playing PlayStations at my mum's house when I'm 24. I don't want to live life like that. I want to become financially free and move fast. Go to school and get good grades and get a good job for life and save up money and put it in the bank, but not too much money. Save up money and put it in the bank. And then buy a house. And then invest in not invest in property, then pay off the mortgage of the house. And look forward to retirement, the dangling of the carrot. I'm not into that life. And this scheme is all about that life. So if you're thinking, I'm a happy 9-to-5 employee, living a slow life, dependent on the government, if you want that life, then this scheme's great. But if you want to be rich, then this scheme sucks. It's a terrible scheme. I wouldn't let my kids do this. I'd just be like, just work harder and get more money fast. Forget the ISA. You don't want the government to give you money. You just want to get your own money and be in control. And you don't invest it in a house to live in. Invest it in a property and rent where you live. That's my thoughts. Am I right? I don't know. I'm right for me. Am I right for you? Maybe not. I don't know if I'm right for you. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I got so much grief from the last video I did like this. Not only do I get grief from the poor people, but I also get grief from the government. I get grief from everybody because here's the thing, the media, the banks, the education system, the government, they don't want this message. But then the poor people don't like the message either because they're like, oh Samuel, you're just showing off. Oh, you're too opinionated. So luckily, I'm on a mission. Because most rich people, by the way, like I said before, the super rich hide because when they become really rich, then they want all the money. Me, I'm making good money. I made several £million last year in property. I'm making very good money. But I'm not going to be controlled to share a message with you when I don't believe it. And some of the stuff Martin Lewis teaches, I mean, Martin Lewis seems like a great guy. I'd love to have him on the channel. I'd love to chat with Martin. But Martin Lewis is worth like 150 million. And I do not believe that Martin Lewis became worth 150 million by doing what he teaches. I don't believe that's how he became rich. It is not how he became rich. I struggle to believe that the stuff he teaches, he does himself. The stuff I teach, believe me, I do myself. He's a great guy. But coming from a poverty mindset and trying to just save a pound here and save a pound there, sometimes if you keep worrying about saving every pound, you lose the million. You know, and slow. You just gotta be fast. You gotta go for the big money, you gotta think big. I wanna move away from this relying on people, relying on the government, saving every penny. I wanna get away from that because I know that keeps people poor. And instead of trying to save more money, sometimes you need to focus on making more money and adding more value and moving faster. So I don't like the ISA. I don't like it. Let me know your thoughts. comment below, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.